Have you ever heard of someone being stuck between life and death, for 20 years? Yeah, 20 years. Not minutes. Not days. 2 entire decades. Sounds unbelievable, right? I mean, try to remember what you were doing 20 years ago. Were you still in school? Starting a job? Getting married? That's a lot of life. Now imagine, living through all of that, but without ever really being there. Your body's alive, but your eyes never open. You're breathing, but not living. And the world just keeps moving without you. That was Abdul Rahman's story. A young guy from the UAE, full of potential. Who the world came to know as the Sleeping Prince. His story is heartbreaking. But it's also beautiful. It's about love. And loyalty. And waiting. Waiting for something that might never happen. But for Abdul Rahman, it almost did. Stick around, because I promise, this story isn't just about tragedy. It's about hope. And heartbreak. And the power of never giving up. So, let's go back. The year was 2004. Abdul Rahman was only 18. Just a kid. You know that age when everything feels possible? When you're dreaming big, making plans, thinking the world's your playground? That was him. He was smart. Athletic. Kind. The kind of guy people noticed, not because he was loud, but because he was full of life. Then one night, just like that, it all stopped. A terrible car crash. One moment, he was full of energy. The next, he was unconscious. No warning. No time to react. Just silence. He didn't wake up the next day. Or the day after that. Or the week after. Abdul Rahman fell into a coma. Now, when most people hear the word coma, they imagine something short. A few days. Maybe a week. And then, hopefully, a full recovery. But not in this case. This wasn't just a regular coma. This was something much more complicated. Abdul Rahman was diagnosed as being in a minimally conscious state. And that's not the same as brain dead. It's not even the same as a full coma or vegetative state. Basically, his brain was still somewhat aware. He showed tiny signs of response, like blinking or slight movements. But he couldn't talk. He couldn't move. He couldn't do the things that make life feel like life. He was stuck. Frozen. And here's the part that really hits you, he stayed in that state for 20 years. 20 birthdays. 20 Ramadans. 20 New Year's Eves. All while lying in a hospital bed. But his family? They never gave up. Especially his father. Every single day, his dad came to see him. He talked to him. Read to him. Held his hand. Played his favorite music. He did it not for days. Not for months. But for 2 decades. That kind of devotion is rare. It's the kind of love that most people only hear about in movies. And you might wonder, did anyone else believe he'd ever wake up? The doctors didn't. Even some friends probably didn't. But his father kept going. Then, in 2019, 15 years after the crash, something happened. Abdul Rahman moved. Not just a random twitch. He actually spoke. Just imagine that moment. You're sitting by your son's side like you've done every day for years. And suddenly, he whispers a word. At first, they thought it couldn't be real. But then it happened again. He said his mother's name. It was like something out of a dream. A voice you thought you'd never hear again. For a while, it looked like the miracle had come. He became a symbol of hope. People called him the Sleeping Prince because of the way he defied the odds. News of his awakening spread everywhere. Doctors were stunned. Reporters wrote about it. Families going through similar things suddenly felt like maybe there was hope for them too. But, as beautiful as it wasn't simple. You see, when someone's body has been still for so long, it breaks down. Muscles waste away. Organs get weaker. Even if the mind starts to return, the body has trouble catching up. And that's what happened to Abdul Rahman. He had woken up, yes, but he wasn't out of danger. He fought hard. For a few more years, he lived. Spoke a little. Showed signs of awareness. But in 2024, almost exactly 20 years after the crash, he passed away. Quietly. The sleeping prince was gone. Now, I know that's heavy. It's hard not to feel crushed by a story like that. But at the same time, there's something incredible here. Because it wasn't just about the coma. It was about the love. The hope. The strength of a father who never gave up. And it's about the question we rarely ask. What does it really mean to be alive? Is it our heartbeat? Our ability to talk or walk? Or is it something deeper, something felt in the connections we hold, even when they seem one-sided? Because let's be honest, most people would have given up. But his dad didn't. He talked to him every day, for 20 years. Even when there was no reply. Even when the doctors told him there was no chance. And you know what? That kind of love, it matters. Now, if you're still wondering about the difference between the medical terms, let me break it down real simple. A coma is a deep state of unconsciousness. Usually short-term. A vegetative state means someone might open their eyes or even move a little, but there's no awareness. But a minimally conscious state, that's where Abdul Rahman was. He wasn't fully gone. His brain still had moments of activity. Moments when he was aware. Doctors say that makes all the difference. And now, because of cases like his, more research is being done. There's growing belief that things like sound, voice, and touch can help people in those states. Some studies even show that patients may hear and understand more than we thought. One neurologist said something powerful. The brain is more resilient than we know. But recovery takes time, and time is the hardest part. And isn't that the truth? Waiting is hard. Not knowing is harder. But still, love holds on. It's also worth mentioning how incredibly rare it is for someone to wake up after that long. Most people don't. But Abdul Rahman did. Even if just for a while. And in that brief window, he gave his family something they'd been hoping for all along. His voice. His recognition. His presence. Even if it was short, it was real. And it meant everything. So now I want to ask you. What would you do if someone you loved was in that situation? Would you visit every day? Would you hold their hand, even if they didn't squeeze it back? It's a hard question. And I think it makes you stop and think. About love. About life. About how fragile everything really is. And maybe it also makes you realize just how important it is to tell the people you love that you love them, today. Not tomorrow. Today. Because nothing's promised. Not even time. If Abdul Rahman's story touched you, even just a little, I really want to hear from you. Seriously. Don't just scroll away. Take a second. Leave a comment. Tell me what you felt. Did it make you cry? Did it leave you speechless for a moment? Did it remind you of someone? Or maybe it just made you pause, and think about life in a way you haven't before. Because that's the thing, stories like this aren't just meant to be watched and forgotten. They're meant to sit with you. To stir something inside you. To make you feel something real in a world where so much just passes by like noise. And I know, it's not easy talking about stuff like this. It's heavy. It's emotional. But I also know that sometimes, when you share something that's been sitting on your chest, you start to feel lighter. Even if just a little. So if you've ever experienced anything even remotely close to what Abdul Rahman's family went through. Maybe you've had a loved one in a coma. Or maybe you've sat beside someone in a hospital bed, hoping for a miracle. Even if it was just for a week. Or a few days. Or maybe, it lasted years. Please, share that story. Because you're not alone. You are not alone. And maybe, just maybe, someone scrolling through the comments needs to hear exactly what you have to say. Your words could give them comfort. Could give them hope. Could make them feel like they're not the only ones in the world feeling lost or helpless. And that's powerful. That's real connection. Now, if this is the kind of story that really hit you, deep in your chest, deep in your heart, then I want to let you in on something. We've got another video that dives into a story just as powerful. One that also wrestles with those big questions. What does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to let go? What if science says one thing, but your heart says another? It's the story of Terry Schiavo. Maybe you've heard her name before. Maybe not. But trust me, once you know what she went through, and what her family went through, you'll never forget it. It's the kind of story that lingers with you. Like Abdul Rahman's. So when you're done here, go give that one a watch too. I think you'll see some powerful parallels. And hey, really, truly, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. I know your time is valuable. There's a million other videos you could have clicked on. But you chose to be here. To listen. To feel. To let someone else's story into your heart. And that means a lot. Not just to me, but to everyone who believes that stories like these matter. If this video moved you in any way. If you found yourself with a lump in your throat, or a tear in your eye. Or even just a quiet moment of reflection. Do me a small favor. Click that like button. It might seem like a tiny thing. But it helps more than you know. It tells the platform, hey, this is worth showing to more people. And the more people who see this, the more hearts it can reach. And if this is the kind of content that speaks to your soul, the kind that doesn't just entertain, but means something, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're building something here. Not just a channel. But a community. A space for real stories. For empathy. For humanity. For voices that often go unheard. And I want you to be part of it. Because the world needs more people like you, people who care. Who feel. Who listen. Who remember. And if you're still with me, all the way here at the end, that says something about you. It tells me you're not just watching passively. You're here for the truth. For the emotion. For the deeper stuff most people scroll past. So I want to ask you something. What's one thing, just one thing, you've learned recently that changed how you see life? Maybe it was something big. Like losing someone. Or gaining someone. Maybe it was something small, like seeing an old photo and realizing how fast time goes. Whatever it is, I want to hear it. Drop it in the comments. It doesn't have to be fancy or perfectly worded. Just speak from the heart. Because sometimes, one little insight is all it takes to shift someone's entire perspective. You never know who's reading. Who's scrolling through, feeling lost, and suddenly stumbles upon your words. And maybe that's the thing that helps them breathe a little easier. Cry a little less. Or smile again. And before you go, just remember something. We spend so much time rushing. Scrolling. Worrying. Planning. Trying to keep up. Trying to look okay. But stories like Abdul Rahman's, they slow us down. They hold up a mirror. And they ask us, what really matters? Is it the deadlines? The likes? The bank account? Or is it the moments? The connections? The love that shows up and keeps showing up, even when there's no guarantee? Because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to hold on to the people we love. We're trying to make sense of the hard stuff. Trying to believe in something, anything. When things feel too quiet, too long, too painful. But you're here. And that matters. That means you care. That means your heart's still wide open. So if nothing else, take this with you. Tell someone you love them today. Call your parents. Text your friend. Hug your partner a little longer. Be gentle with the people around you. Because life is fragile. It's unpredictable. It's beautiful. And it's fleeting. And sometimes it's the quiet, unseen love, like a father sitting by his son's bedside for 20 years, that shows us the most about what it means to be human. So again, thank you. Thank you for listening. For feeling. For caring. We'll be back soon with another story that reminds you you're not alone in this wild, beautiful, heartbreaking, amazing life. Until then, take care of yourself. Be kind to others. And never forget. Sometimes the quietest stories are the ones that speak the loudest. See you next time.